I'm probably down the same line as Geordie. I think the fact that it's at Marvel will lead to St Kilda putting in a pretty good performance, but Hawthorn just for me.
OK, we're already at Marvel under the closed roof. Both 2 wins and 1 loss so far this season. Bit of feeling in it already. Here we go. We're all set with the opening bounce. It's the last game of round 4.
Sunday football is underway from Marvel Stadium. Cousins received from Puopolo. Hardwick and now Warple. Penetrating kick to half forward. Spectacular from Wingard over the back. Brust.
Holding the ball, prior opportunity.
Free kick against Scully.
Yeah, Savage.
Pinned in the tackle. Free kick, Shane Savage, the former Hawk.
Play on.
Thought about a switch. Goes down the line, the 1-2 with Billings. Releases Savage. Penetrating kick to the wing. Marshall, McAvoy, Sicily over the top, got it to ground, where it's picked up by Impey.
Little one off, and then hard, or just bouncing sort of a ball quickly. Savage back to Billings, onto that right boot he rarely uses, and easy pickings for Frawley, and then so happy to bring it back to half back into the hands of a man, Hodgie, who's been an astute pickup and been brilliant, Henderson.
Yeah, he has. Plays that wing half-back role where he can work up and down. He's got a great tank and a great kick of the footy.
Roughhead back in after missing last week with the corky. Howe also in this week. O'Meara the late out.
Thank you, hold there.
The hip pointer being an issue, not getting through the test today.
You can already see Hawthorn's game style. They're going to try and go for the chip mark. They don't really want to get into a slingshot game of footy with St Kilda. Look for him to possess the ball with kick and uncontested mark.
Mirror in the Segler direction, ends up with Gunston. Roughhead, around the corner, Scully. Well, Bruce had it, lost it. Little chance for Puopolo. Tackle was good, strong. Second tackle came this time by Steele. The Hawks get stopped in the tracks quickly. Little Scully handball. The Saints have got the numbers. Wilkie out of trouble for the moment. Segler needed the second bite, but got it in the end.
Thank you.
No, reversed. What was that for, Hodgie?
That was a push in the back. The Impey's come through, tried to protect Segler, who was standing for the mark, and shoved him in the back.
Play on. You.
Parker goes high towards half forward. McAvoy tried to get across, the fist from Frawley to Sicily. Segler just a little fumble, threw it back. Is that going to be a free kick?
Out of bounds.
It was already out of bounds before he threw it.
Nominate. Rowan.
Mason Cox-esque over the goal line at the G.
Fortunately for John Segler, he crossed the line. He now goes in the ruck against Marshall to the front of the contest. Puopolo with speed, but can't keep it alive.
That's where I think Hawthorn have the upper hand in the stoppages. You've got Segler and McAvoy, both two very strong ruckmen, against Marshall, who's a really good runner, agile around the ground, but just lacks that size in the contest.
Has been an area where the Hawks traditionally don't win a lot of clearances. Last in the competition so far this season, but you're right, Hodgie might be able to gain an advantage today. But this one's St Kilda's. Gresham to Ross, penetrating kick inside 50, spectacular from Long. Never really a chance to mark. Mirror tidies up. Hardwick, low trajectory kick. Henderson had to stand and wait while Wilkie attacked him. Took him to ground. Great story, Callum Wilkie. He was an accountant in Adelaide. Played in North Adelaide's premiership last season, having spent the last 4 years in the Sandful. Won their best and fairest. Now rookie listed by the Saints.
Good on the intercept, we're told. Sinclair, little dance and weave. To half forward he goes.
Go through. Hold there, time back on.
Sicily's become so important at half-back for the Hawks, Hodgie.
Yeah, he's someone who can read the play. He'll back himself to go for the mark, and then when he gets that the ball in his hand, his right foot's as elite.
And James Warple, talk about a man that's become popular quickly. Great article by Jay Clark a couple of weeks ago talking about how when he was playing as a junior, he continued to work hard in the vineyards, and I think he was serving pizzas at one point, continuing to train, and he's done it all the hard way. But one of 9 kids found his way at this level, and a couple of moments last year against Joel Selden, Michael Hurley, where he really established himself.
You can see there Hawthorn's putting Sicily behind the ball. They've St Kilda put a sixth up into the stoppage. They've got Sicily sitting behind as that spare.
Play on, both engaged.
Marshall, clever by hand. Nunes. Tough spot for the Hawks. Big fly, not quite reeled in. Little chance here for Lonie, left it behind. Arching his back, McKenzie, floating ball forward. Pushed out, Parker, going to get the free kick. No, Hawks did well. Saints fans start to jeer.
Sicily short to Gunston. Tucked up in that back pocket. St Kilda's zone, as you can see, covering all the spaces. Gunston gets the shepherd from Stratton and then launches it long. Tries to kick over the top of the zone. Scully, ground level. Bruce links up with Roughhead. Scully keeps on running. Warple, Smith. Impey explodes through the middle. What's he got forward of the football? He's got Big Ben McAvoy. And he marks just inside 50. Moves it on quickly, and Tom Scully just kept on running.
McAvoy can see there. He's got a big tank for a big fella as well, but just his thought there. Quickly saw Scully there by himself and been able to hit that kick inside.
#1 draft pick for Melbourne all the way back in 2009. Played 31 games for the D's, 121 for GWS. Came to Hawthorn this season. A chance to kick his first goal in the brown and gold. Tom Scully on the board with the opening goal. And again, just his work rate, Hodgie, as good as anyone in the competition. First involved at half-back, gets on the end of it within striking range.
Yeah, that's what they got. They had Isaac Smith doing it on one wing for a number of years, and then to get Scully to come through and be able to do that, at least they can swap to go in the middle as well.
It's one of the hardest runners in the competition, Hodgie, Tom Scully.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it showed when he was at GWS just how hard he could work up and down that wing. But he also finds a lot of the ball because he can outwork a lot of the opponents. He can push forward, as you saw then, and pop up in the right spots. And for McAvoy to turn around and see him so quickly just shows McAvoy's knowledge and skill as well.
McAvoy, 100th game as a Hawk after 91 for the Saints. It's another new Hawk in Scully. So they get their first. Not quite in the end. Scrimshaw went without it, and it's not going to amount to too much damage from a Hawks perspective. Long misses all. So Long comes in for Dunstan, who played in the VFL here today against Box Hill, and Howe comes in.
37 touches, 10 clearances, Dunstan.
Trying to get back into this side. Here's McAvoy again. Cousins just changes his mind and then works it wide. Bruce, ball just sits okay. Had to just drag it back in. Missed his man in Morrison. Finds Roughhead. Not cleanly, but all easy pickings for Gunston. One of the best in the game from any angle. Let's see if he can get the Hawks second.
That's a great pick up there from Jared Rufford. We all know that he's had the agility for a big fella, but this handball just misses from Luke Bruce. But one pick up, takes a couple steps and hit a clear forward there. Perfect there from Ruff, and you'd expect Gunston to go back and kick this.
Keep looking at these players who have been brought in from other clubs who have fitted in so brilliantly. McAvoy we've spoken about, and Scully, Wingard, brilliant last week. Gunston, a couple of years at the Crows.
Just to back someone to kick it, he does that.
Yeah, there is something in it. I reckon you just got to wait as a commentator.
You've certainly transitioned well, Hodgie. You're still playing and you've managed to pick up the curse. Jimmy
good,
Webster.
Good, Jace. It's not just for those that haven't played you've got the curse.
Correct.
Legends also can bring it with them.
We've finally got something in common with Hodgie.
Yeah.
Scrimshaw, nice little tap. Scully pops it over the top. Bruce sells the dummy nicely, looks inboard, but it's picked off. Well read by Jack Steele.
See, that there was just a little bit too cute from Bruce there. I think the coaching staff at Hawthorn would have wanted that kick to the top of the goal square just to give his tall forwards an opportunity to make a contest.
33 is Ben Patton, the late inclusion for Jaron Geary, who's out with a virus. Patton in for his fourth game as Billings goes short to Battle.
You can see the Hawks set up there behind the ball. Their nice little zone. Everyone's supposed to be about 15, 20 metres away from their closest teammate, just so they can cover the whole ground, making it harder for St Kilda to kick through the defence.
Clark to Nunes, who has to kick it long. Impey, the big fly over the top. Tidied up by Sicily, gains a little bit of territory. Awkward one for Nunes. Wrapped up by Morrison, almost through it. Play on the call. Clark taken down by Scully. Steele. Chance for Akers to bust away to Gresham.
Here's Gresham, over the top he goes. He's got a runner in memory, has to wait a little. Ball sits okay. Marshall's on, so too. Lonie, ugly sort of a ball. It was all looking pretty promising. Might still just work out. Marshall, clever. Here we go. Saints on the board. Lonie gets his first. Memory just lost it perhaps in the lights, sat behind him, picked it up eventually, worked the ball inside. Wasn't neat or clean. But in the end, they got what they were looking for. First goal of the afternoon. Lonie trying to entrench himself in this side and become a clever little crafty forward that stays here for a couple of 100 games. Does well.
That's the play that St Kilda need to do against Hawthorn. If they can have that little bit of run through the middle of the ground, get it out the open side. Hawthorn defenders want to be coming towards the ball. They don't want to have their back to the ball running away. That means they're an unstable defence. Hawthorn like to be set up. Perfect movement there from St Kilda and a nice finish.
So the critical kick for the Saints will be the aggressive one to change direction. On that occasion it worked. Rough head. Will advantage be paid?
Advantage.
It will. Umpire waited to see where it was going to end up. It ended up with Morrison inside 50. At the front of the contest, Scully almost brought it down. He's gang tackled.
Well done by the umpire there. He wanted to see if there was actually an advantage to Hawthorn before he called it. We'll give him a compliment here and there.
You're still playing, you should. It's just smart business. McKenzie. Brown tried to hack a kick out of there. Sinclair ricochets off McKenzie. Straight to Henderson. 48 metres from goal. Goes to the open side, but Billings beats Morrison to the football.
Ambles towards the Medallion Club side and then pulls the trigger but misses the target. Wanted Dean Kent, one of the new faces at St Kilda. Matty Parker, another of the new faces who's just been a revelation, playing C-grade amateurs 2.5 years ago. Moved to South Fremantle, said, what do I want to be saying about myself in 10 years' time? And that's it, I've given it all, worked hard, finds himself on this list and has done great things, as Ruffy has done for a long time from a Hawthorn perspective. Wingard, just through fingertips, Wilkie. Heard about him, best and fairest at North Adelaide last year. Steele, third on the best and fairest, couldn't take it clean.
Great contest there from Warple. I said he's strong in and under. As Wingard just missing the mark. He's strong in and under, but he's happy to have the hustle and bustle of the defensive side of the game as well.
Segler and Marshall. Segler got it down, was looking for a rough head. It was taken by Morrison, goes inside 50. It's a good defensive mark by Josh Battle. Another one of these impressive youngsters coming through for the Saints.
Involved in that massive collision last week with Fife. Fife out this week. Battle continues on.
Kick to the wing. Frawley over the top. Clark down to Akers. Looks for an option, waits the kick to Bruce. It was really clever. Anything further and Sicily would have been able to get to it. A couple of dodgy handballs from the Saints. Clark received one from Steele and then gives one back. That'll rattle the ribs. Bruce tackle, opens it up. Scrimshaw gives it to Warple. Lonie in pursuit. It was a good chase. It affected the kick. And Wilkie can get it to Battle. Now Akers. Off a step, Bruce stands underneath it. Pack comes in over the top. At ground level, St Kilda under pressure. Tackle from Warple was good. No chance for Nunes to escape.
Thank you, cheers. Thanks. And thank you, lads.
Akers loses the battle of height and the ruck contest. Morrison, left boot. Chance out the back, well, not quite in the end. Nash left behind. Sinclair got the handball away. Brown went at it. Wingard got involved in the contest. Wilkie dragged off the footy by Gunson. Seb Ross caught underneath a couple of Hawks.
Great contest there from Connor Nash. He's the Irishman. He's a 6'4" forward. He's known for, he's got a blistering speed and his aggression. Great contest and follow-up tackle.
International rookie draft in 2017, finding a bit of a rhythm. Hurried ball, bit of a foot race now. They come from all parts of the ground. Lucky bounce from a Saints perspective into the hands of Ross. Nunes just...
Advantage, advantage.
Heard the umpire. Ross again. Best and fairest a couple of years ago. Run it last year. Sends it inside. Hunter Clark under immediate pressure.
Definitely no prior there.
Heard the umpire. No prior.
Please, straight up. Thanks, gents. Thanks, mate.
See the grimace on the face of Hunter Clark. Talked about rattling the ribs earlier. He's looking a little worse for wear. Gingerly goes chasing, but doesn't really look to him to get involved. Bruce, inside he goes. Cousins just got impeded as he went to kick into the goal square. Luke Hodge spoke about this man. Connor Nash, top of the square.
That was a smart kick by Cousins. He was under pressure, and all he had to do was just sit up, give it a little bit of height, so Nash could get in the right position and use his strength to push his oppo under the ball.
From County Meath in Ireland, he's got his first of the day, second for the year, fourth of his career. Amazing how the Irish have come over and have continued to be successful. Obviously, the Gaelic influence is not too dissimilar, but from other countries, whether there's not the interest or whether there's not the grounding, but some of the best players in the game right now.
But that's the thing, is that there's a lot that come across, but it's only the ones that are willing to work hard, have the discipline to work on their skills that really benefit, and he's one of those.
Dylan Robertson joins us on a Sunday afternoon. Welcome, Dylan. Observations early going?
Yeah, they're off to a good start, the Hawks. They're probably controlling, owning the corridor on us in the contest, so we need to tidy that up a little bit.
You a good watcher or a poor watcher?
I'm getting used to it, which is probably a bad thing.
It is. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
So the Hawks, 2-1. And they get another clearance through Cousins. Bounces it inside 50. A slight fumble there from McKenzie. Opened the door momentarily. Battle. Savage. McKenzie gets it back. Little chip to Billings. He pops it over the top to Patton. Spears the kick. He was looking for Kent, but it was cut off by Stratton. Aggressive kick inboard looking for McAvoy. Numbers here with the Saints. Ross, Lonie. Traffic just wafted past him, but he sets Ross a big task. And Savage puts it on the boot. Henderson did well. Again, Saints with numbers at ground level. Gresham just pokes it through traffic and finds Long. 55 from goal, can square it up.
That was poor spread from the Hawthorn midfield then. They've all tracked towards the ball on this wing. The St Kilda midfield read where the play was going and ran forward. Was able to outnumber the Hawthorn midfielders in front.
And Jack Lonie has a chance.
You could see all the Hawthorn midfielders through the middle of the ground. Need to squeeze defensively to stop this St Kilda run.
48 metres out. Goal kicking's been an issue for him previously. 6-14 in 2017. Much better last year, 16-10. Did not make sweet connection with that one at all.
You could sort of see there, all the St Kilda guys in the middle of the ground, their midfielders spread forward.
Here's a chance for Long. Snapples, kicks, snares a goal. Saints get their second.
The old 7-point play.
Don't know whether it's ever a set play, but it always feels good when it's immediate, the response. Lonie misses. Long, instinctive and clever. He comes in, adds value, levels things up.
And that's where he's got to be so important kicking in. All forward lines these days are being told from the coaches to make sure they're on their toes. Don't give an easy kick in from fullback. You can squeeze him into the pocket. It was a good spoil there and a really smart goal.
Super talent, Ben Long. I remember him kicking 6 goals in a preliminary final in the VFL back in 2016. That got him onto an AFL list. Haven't seen the best of him yet. He's had some foot problems, but he is a real talent. Sinclair scuttles away from the congestion to half forward. Impey sets himself, gets nudged underneath it.
In the back, advantage.
And Smith will take it. Little chip kick on the bounce. Did Gunston no favours. He's bowled over. Steele quick hands to Ross. He spreads it wide to Nunes.
Stay out, Daniel. Thank you.
Nothing coming at him right now. So once again, he'll look to open up the ground. Bruce will force a contest against 2 and do better than that. He'll win a contest against 2. Brilliant football from the Hawk veteran. And then that's what he gets as his reward.
Advantage.
And a chance for the Saints to go forward. Akers will get on the end of it. And St Kilda have the lead. Footy can be a cruel game.
You don't have long to enjoy your nice moments, do you? Luke Bruce has just split a couple of Saints, done a great job, and just as quick as that, Matty Parker, bang.
Great mark here from Luke Bruce, going back against 2, takes a good mark. Then he pulls back, sees an option to switch it out wide. I'm not sure if he actually ran off the mark. As you see here, him pulling back. I wouldn't say that's playing on. The umpires probably blew the whistle or called play on a little bit too fast. Disappointing there, but good goal from St Kilda. Gets him back in the game.
Matty Parker's tackle, sensational. Marshall quickly out of the middle, drives the ball long. Scrimshaw had it, lost it. Gresham kicks forward. In the end, Mirror just tried to fist it away. Sicily ended up with a football. Knows Scrimshaw is there on his favoured side. Works it to the wing. Cleanly, well, Patton, but then Bruce straight onto him. Warple helped out his man underneath the pack.
St Kilda's defence is really good today. Hawthorn are really having trouble getting it out of their back half. They've missed a lot of kicks, leaving their defensive 50.
Marshall v Segler.
Knock it out.
Steele. Underneath all that, Jared Ruffhead. He's unhappy.
Let him up.
Heard the umpire dived on it.
That's it.
So Jack Steele become an integral member of this Saints outfit after some time at the GWS. Saints looking for their 4th. Scrimshaw too easily.
Fourth on. Okay, looks like you just...
If you look at St Kilda there, they're really quick to get man on man. They're not giving any free kicks away. There's no clear Hawthorn person who's in front of the ball that's free.
Just come back.
Good defence.
Sicily forced to go long down the line. Gunston tries to work Sinclair underneath it. Bounces over the back to Webster. And Gunston smothers it over the line. So the key here, Hodgie, is you can concede the first uncontested mark to Hawthorn, but don't concede the second, the third and the fourth. Yeah,
especially anything that takes ground. See, you could see that one then. They went backwards or sideways. They could lock him into a pocket and they can defend from a pocket. So as soon as they got a turnover, St Kilda have been really good at getting a man so there's no easy Hawthorn exits.
Roughhead puts some body on. Jack Steele as they head to the line. Jared Roughhead back from a corked thigh. He copped at training, colliding with Chad Wingard.
He's looked fresh as well, Ruffy, after that week off. He's had 6 touches early, hasn't missed a target.
He was quick to redeem himself, Chad Wingard. Forces Ruffy out but kicks 3. Hawks fans forgive easily.
It's very true. Not what you want to be doing at a new club, is it?
No.
Parker, good tackle. Howe through some traffic. Can swing it wide and find that man, Jared Roughhead, in some space. Centre wing.
So where to next, Hodgie? Nothing obvious early. McAvoy puts his hand up at half forward.
The way McAvoy's been marking, probably him.
Almost, just drags it back in. Big man becomes a rover to his own little clever palm. Cousins puts it to the right.
Great work there for McAvoy. Cousins probably had a little bit more time than he actually thought. Rushed the kick a little bit.
He's been outstanding. Ben McAvoy, after arriving from the Saints. 6 years, 91 games. Swapped for Savage and a first-round pick. Become premiership player a couple of times and has been super.
That first-round pick was Dunstan, so it was Savage and Dunstan for McAvoy. I mentioned Luke Dunstan this afternoon playing in the VFL. He's played 87-odd games for the Saints at senior level.
Hodgie, you spoke of St Kilda's ability to really set up well defensively. It did take them a little while to get on top of that. They've conceded just an average of 9 marks inside 50 over the past 3 games. Hawks already have 4 inside 50, so that's an area they're really going to want to look at quarter time.
Yeah, good point, Abs. Spills over the back. Gunston and Savage go at it. Cousins comes across and gets involved, but in the process, clips Jack Nunes high.
Play on.
Saints look to move it quickly through Webster. Now Ross.
Hold there.
Henderson stands the mark.
Hold there.
Good there from Henderson, just to push in nice and tight. Push Ross back off the mark, just to slow it up a bit.
A bare minimum distance to Wilkie, if that.
Move it on. Play on. Play on. Play on.
He'll kick it long down the line. Membry underneath it. Scrimshaw over the back. Judged it nicely in from the side.
You mate.
He'll look for a switch. Sicily needed to mark as Long was approaching. The high kick was headed in the Gunston direction. He was out position, so went the defensive option. Good disciplined football. Set it up for Bruce. Brilliant hands back to Gunston. Runs to 55 and delivers inside 50 to Roughhead. He drops it. Options either side. Chips it over the top to Henderson. Well played.
He made up that one, Ruffy. That was a smart kick. He'll be filthy. He dropped the chest mark, but as you'll see, he picked it up cleanly, and it was a nice kick to Henderson.
That's your line, Ricky.
I mentioned what value Ricky Henderson's been. He was cut by the Crows, delisted, picked up as a free agent for nothing. at the end of 2016. He's been great value for the Hawks.
Great goal there from Henderson. He gets a lot of the ball around the midfield, but because of his running capacity, he can push hard forward. And as you saw then, he started with the rest of the midfielders, was able to beat the rest of them back, and it was a nice kick by Ruff to set him up for another goal.
Good disciplined football from Jack Gunston. The switch kick was headed in his direction. He found himself out of position, but had stayed in the contest, got a fist on it, and kept it moving rather than conceding the uncontested mark. And it is the little things, isn't it?
Yeah, the happiest person on the ground would be Sicily, because I can guarantee you the Hawthorn coaching staff, Clark, would have been going bunter at that kick. But it was just lucky that come off and got a lucky goal out of it. But that's not the kick that they want. If you're going to switch it back, you'd prefer an uncontested kick across the ground, not a skied ball into the middle of the ground.
All's well that ends well. Henderson gets his first of the afternoon. Hawks get the lead back. McAvoy, a little slap. Might end up with the footy again. McAvoy had it just momentarily. But Ross ends up with it. To half forward, the ball bounces. Sicily might just get there first. Memory's going to put the tackle on, dislodge the football. Desperate to get there before the line.
Guys, Jared Ruffhead has come to the bench. He's just having a rest. 8 touches so far in this opening term, running at 100%. So it's great to see him back in his Hawthorn outfit.
And he looks buggered too. He's sucking the deep ones. No, that's great for him to come back in. Have a bit of freshen up last weekend. Come back and have an impact.
Marshall quickly, but Henderson, who's been doing it all around the ground for Hawthorn after starting out in 2017. He played 18 in his first year, 22 last year. He's outstanding when we saw him against the Dogs earlier in the year. Another astute pickup, as has Frawley been. Amongst it all, Nash, Segler, Puopolo, Savage. Now Henderson again. Long was a tackler, got him.
Holding the ball, St Kilda. Ricky over here. Play on.
So Long just puts his teammates under a bit of pressure. Marshall immediately under pressure too. Somehow got out of the Bruce tackle. Into the hands of Akers. So a kick and a half from home, the Saints. Trailed by a point. Who's at home for St Kilda? Bruce. Well, Impey just floated in front. Easy kill in the end. Frawley wrestled Bruce, and Impey had the easier of the tasks.
Great effort from Marshall in the middle to hit that short kick under pressure.
Jonathan, thank you.
Set up a good motion going forward.
Alan Richardson watches on. Highly competitive opening term. Segler back towards the line. Billings won't get there.
Sign 2 again, please.
Jack Billings has started the season well. 28, 32 possessions in his first 3 weeks. Akers in the ruck this time against Segler. Steele steps through the traffic. Clark tries to find a way through. Here is Billings. Throws it on his boot. And as far as James Frawley. Sees Hardwick.
Hold there, hold there.
Hardwick's got Henderson working hard, as you can see, running towards him down the line. That's where he goes.
Hey.
And now the 45 kick to Impey. They get it to defensive 50 with minimum risk. As Impey steps around Webster. Goes to a 2-on-2 on the wing. Nash did beautifully. It was a deft little touch. Puopolo, McAvoy, releases Smith. They've got space to work in. Segler's handball partly smothered. Turnover, chance for the Saints.
The bounce, some protection from Akers, and then to half forward. He wanted Bruce, missed the target. Can he still work something here, Bruce? Off the back heel in the end of Frawley, and under immediate pressure was Hardwick. Bruce desperate to keep the football in. Help arrives. Hunter Clark involved. Gresham got to the football. Second little slap, okay. In the end, Hunter Clark couldn't break free. Desperate stuff from Segler. It was exactly what the Hawks needed.
Great work out there from Segler. This is one here where a ruckman always gets told to handball to the midfield run and pass. He probably could have come back a little bit, let Scully run into the forward 50 and chip the kick over to him. But great work rate by the big fella to push down and get another stoppage.
Hawks by a point. Saints on the march. Little chance for Lonie. Tackled. Tackle was good from Stratton. Rolled him to the sideline. He lost the football.
Stay there, stay there.
Someone get on Lonie.
Thanks.
You can see Henderson there in the middle of the ground. That's for a little bit of defence, but that's more for rebound. As soon as Hawthorn win the ball and they go to switch it, he's going to be the first one out in this flank, as he was at the last stoppage.
Segler with the height, ended up with Jack Steele. Ball dislodged.
Mate, play on.
From Smith to Ross. Back again, I think, to Steele underneath all of that.
Thanks, gents.
And that is Jack Lonie down behind play, a little sore.
Ross has had a huge first quarter. He's had 12 touches.
So chance for the Saints if they can be clean here. Akers tried to take it out of the ruck. He's dispossessed. Smith had it momentarily. Spills to Billings outside of the boot. This is right.
Thanks, just back here, Tim. Back here, mate. Thank you.
Sicily up the middle. Anxious momentarily as Isaac Smith saw behind the play. Sicily receives back from Frawley, gives to Impey. And now Cousins on the wing. And we are all square after 1 quarter of Sunday football.
Right now, Isaac Smith is the big watch. Have a look at him. Got some problems with the right wrist, hand, arm. Abby Holmes will keep us updated. 3-2 apiece, quarter time on a Sunday at Marvel.
He's having it iced, went straight down the race. More on that with Ab shortly as we start the second term. McAvoy in the middle against Marshall. Still committed the body. Hawks win it forward to Puopolo. Sweeping through Webster. Billings. Savage needed to be fast. And Ben Long certainly is, but spilt the beans.
That's happened a few times today for both teams. The ball's landed in a few laps and it just slipped through. But he worked hard to get to that kick there.
Must be a faulty one.
Ben Long set to spend more time in the midfield for the Saints. Provides a point of difference with that raw speed and grunt. Wingard to Howe. High ball inside 50. Roughhead juggles. Gunston. Brown, Billings and Webster. Comes bursting off half-back. That's beautiful delivery. Hits Josh Bruce, who's got Sinclair working really hard towards the 50. Stratton coming in the other direction. Stratton had to leave Long, who's all by himself in the pocket. Scrimshaw works hard to get back there now. Membry will have to fly from behind. That was good cover defence from the Hawks. Sicily ended up taking the mark. The Saints had half a chance. It was shut down quickly.
Sicily reads the ball so beautifully in the air, Hodgie. He's just seemingly in the right spot more often than his opponent.
Yeah, exactly right. You can't let him get a run and jump at it.
Hawthorn, Puopolo.
Free kick there to Puopolo. You can't let him get a run and jump at it. You've got to put a body on him, so he's got to fight you for his position. If you let him have a run and jump, his timing, his strength and his hands are too good.
Easy ball down the line. Roughhead flies amongst a few Saints. Fall the ball is Savage, so to Nash. A reset. So 3-2 apiece at quarter time, as it is now. Scully got the first in the afternoon. And this is the Isaac Smith injury. We'll see if we can show it to you a couple of times, but gets obscured a little. But I think he gets kicked by a foot in all of that.
It looks like that. And Isaac's not one to carry on if he's... It must hurt him a fair bit for him to handle how he did.
McAvoy quickly boot to ball. Chance here for Nash. Wrapped up pretty quickly. The tackle is good. He's held up. He's going nowhere. Well done, Battle.
As we said with the stoppages, Hawthorn are 18-6 up in hit-outs, but St Kilda are winning 14-10 with the clearances, led by Marshall, who's had 5 clearances. Super effort.
There's Marshall again. Roughhead. Well, almost got boot to ball the first time. So to Puopolo. Saints. The fence holds up. Quick kick. Who gets there first? Scrimshaw. Lonie. Clever over the top, but no help really initially. And then a second clever cat. Little tap to Morrison. Cousins inside. Well done, Nash. Just worked it to Gunston. Little give. Chance for Scrimshaw. Ducks, weaves, gives it off. Cousins, Wingard. First touch of the afternoon, I think. Won't work out. Didn't get a touch in the opening term. I think he's first. In the second, he can explode very quickly.
That's where you need a right foot to understand he's a very skillful player, but if you can't make distance from 20 out doing a banana, swing it onto your right.
I've undersold him. He hit nothing in the first, but that was his second for this second term.
Oh, thanks, Jared. Play on.
Battle in the back pocket. To Savage again in the goal square.
Play on.
Now Webster. Not a lot of room to move. Munes on the turn was good. He found Steele. So laborious rebound 50. Comes to Wingard from 50. Roughhead uses the body and kicks the goal.
Ten touches at 100%. Give him every second week off.
That was a perfect way there from Connor Nash and Chad Wingard up the ground. Connor read the play beautifully, tapped it down. And then I don't think the player realised Russ was behind him, because he definitely wasn't expecting contact. Perfect there from Connor Nash down to Wingard. As you said, you got to be ready in the press for those short little kicks. Ruffy, big strong boy, got rid of Brown, and then on his right there almost got chased down. But said he's had 10 touches, 100%, kicked a goal, set a couple up.
You talked, Jace, earlier about the Hawks having one of Roughhead, Burgoyne, Mitchell or Hodge in the side under Clarko for the last 332. The streak went back 392 games. Round 10, 2002. Clark will be comforted to see Roughhead back and in good form. Roughhead goal stretches the lead to 7.
Advantage, St Kilda.
He'll take it long. He's a quick runner. He's got a couple of options. Backs himself and seals the deal. You always get nervous for a player that's got an option on and it's a 50-50. Do you give it off or do you back yourself? Long did the latter.
I think any time that they hesitate, that's when they make the mistake.
Yep.
You go there, you back yourself to kick the goal. Unless it's an easy, give me over the top, or someone's by himself in the goal square. I think it's always good for the forward to back himself and kick it. It's a solid contest there. Chesley got taken out. That's a part of footy. Nothing happened. That one there, it's a nice little back yourself. Put a little snap in. Good goal. Saints are playing some good footy.
As Matt Parker limps off.
Yeah, guys, good news for Hawks fans with Isaac Smith back on the ground. But as you can see on screen there, Matt Parker doesn't look overly comfortable. He's in the hands of the doctors, and they will assess him further.
So the Saints back within a point. Entertaining game at Marvel Stadium. Henderson. Hardwick just slipped away with speed into the path of Warple from 65 metres. Attacks the goal square. Roughhead pushing and shoving. Well done by McKenzie over the top. Got it down to Battle. Quick to the boot. Morrison will get there first. Almost run down. It affected the kick out of bounds on the full. Good defensive pressure again from the Saints.
Thanks.
Josh Battle, the beneficiary.
You.
High towards a pack.
Play the mark, play the mark.
Bruce will get it. He'll go over the top. He's got Marshall in space. He's got a runner alongside as well. It's Dean Kent. Kent can look up. He's got options everywhere inside. Goes to Sinclair. Not that tidy. Sinclair can go over the top. Well read, Jarman Impey. Put his body on the line. Got it away from Akers. Kent couldn't quite keep it alive. And once again, a half opportunity for the Saints goes begging. Some good scramble defence from the Hawks.
They'll be frustrated there, having an outnumber in the forward line. Impey read the play well, got it out for a stoppage. That's one of those ones you need to take advantage of.
The first of the last two kicks, poor from Kent, and then Sinclair just floated up. Impey brilliant. Mounts to nothing. To date anyway. Here's a chance. Hunter. He goes over the top, Hunter Clark, and Impey again involved. This time Long takes him to ground. Saints fans, they get boisterous. Umpire will get them to set up again. Hawks by a point, level at quarter time. They want the deliberate, they're not going to get it. Still, even though they've seen the replay 3 times and make more noise each time. Segler easily doesn't gain a heap of distance, plenty of height. Billings, Steele, Ross, Long, accurate, it's perfect. Saints back in front.
Ross is just finding too much of the footy at the moment. He's had 15, kicked his first goal. He's had 10 uncontested possession. We want to start getting a little bit closer to him.
Dylan Robinson joins us again from the St Kilda box. Dylan, Seb Ross, 15 possessions and now a goal. That was a beautifully worked goal off the back of the stoppage.
Yeah, it was. He's working really hard, Sebi. He's getting to pretty much every contest, so that's his strength. So hopefully he does that all day for us.
You'd be happy with the mids. They're losing the hit-outs, but their work at ground level has been excellent.
Yeah, if you look at the guys who we got in there now, we've got Gresh in there, so he gets pretty busy at stoppage, so he's a very handy player.
Thanks for your time, Dylan. We'll come back to you shortly. Kick towards half forward for Nash. Corralled by Battle. Bounces it inside 50. Important defensive hand in there from Webster. He's had a couple of really good moments in the last 5 minutes.
It's those small little desperate acts from St Kilda that have been keeping in front in this game. Just either the dive tackles or the knockout of bounces. They're defending really well.
Marshall at the front, Segler at the back. Spills to Kent. Handball ricocheted to Marshall. Now Nunes. Kicks back towards the wing. The hands of Akers. Sicily just to the voice of Stratton. Little give over the top. Mirror committed the body. Akers pressured him. Hardwick went looking for Sicily. Membry goes tracking it. Sicily first, but can't control it. And the Saints fans love it.
Yeah. Walk away. Just take that. Tag that.
A little bit of fun there. Sicily tries to put on a big bump to someone and gets put on his backside. Has a bit of a joke about it. You can see the St Kilda players really want to try and push this as buttons. They know he's capable of giving up a free kick or two.
Warple brilliant to get it to Scully. Segler knew there was a few Saints at the forward ball, slapped it in their direction. Nunes picked it up, tried to bust his way through, gets help from McKenzie. Webster, the standover man.
Jonathan.
Hawthorn have overloaded one side of the stoppage here. They've got everyone on the defensive side. Look for a couple to move through.
Marshall down the throat of Nunes. Stratton gifted the football. Into the circles finds Hardwick.
Thanks, Tim. Move it on. Hold now. Thank you.
So now Mirror has a responsibility. Smith back out on the ground. Abby Holmes told us that after getting kicked late in the first. Little chance for Howe here. 3 black jumpers about him. Impey gets beaten by Saints. And the boundary line, tried to work his way through, ran out of space, hemmed in. Saints by 5. No leader at quarter time. Ross had a heap of the football, got the last of the goals. Long, terrific goal in this term. Roughhead got the first.
St Kilda 24 to 17 tackles for the game, up 6-1 to this quarter.
Arms around, keeping his arm down. Hold there, on the angle.
Marshall doesn't agree. McAvoy happy to go searching for a teammate.
Goes to the pocket. Gunston's his target. Punched away by Patton, who did well. Gresham with a ferocious tackle.
Just needed that kick to be a little bit higher. Gunston had the height advantage there. Just need to sit on his head, let him use his body work.
Hodgie, another injury concern for the Hawks with James Frawley just heading down to the rooms with the doctor and physio.
Puopolo lurking, putting pressure on McKenzie. Somehow he got the football. It was smothered by the face of Nunes, who goes down hard. He's in a bad way, Jack Nunes. He copped that full blast from point-blank range right in the face. Let's have another look. He and McKenzie, in fact, might have even... There we go. Oh, it was a clash of heads. So McKenzie, as you can see at the back of your picture, a little wobbly on his feet as well. Fortunately for the Saints, they win the football. Billings a high ball. Akers stands underneath it. Punch came from Scrimshaw. Mirror gets it to ground, and the Saints have got a bit of tidying up to do behind the footy here. Dan McKenzie is saying, I'm okay to stay out here for the moment. Ball's in a dangerous area. I'll just pick up Puopolo and I'll see how I go.
St Kilda playing a high forward line. The only two people behind centre, Sicily, his opponent.
Sicily's with Kent and Stratton's with Bruce. And as you say, Hodgie, a very congested forward half from a Hawthorn perspective. Cousins swings the boot at it. Segler flies, second bite, don't pay it. Scully runs into Hunter Clark, rebounds quickly but loses his feet and then gets piled on top of. Puopolo, I think, has been knocked in the eye.
Just copped the knee right at the end of that stoppage when the play had actually stopped.
St Kilda have 14 people in their defensive 50. Trying to jam up the stoppage and then surge it out to space.
Billings, ugly sort of a ball. McAvoy with the height. He's the ball over the top to Sicily.
And that's the result of the numbers, isn't it, Hodgie? It just comes trampolining back. Sicily will thump it long inside 50. Segler almost couldn't quite complete the mark. Wilkie pressured him out. At ground level, it's socket outside 50 once again. Cousins can use Hardwick. Run from behind from Sicily. Skins the kick. Scully to Nash. Gets a look from 45. Connor Nash heads goalwards. Just pushes it across the face.
And you can understand what St Kilda are doing. They're trying to clog the forward line for Hawthorn so that there's no easy stoppage goals and then kick it out to space. They've got 2 goals from stoppages doing that so far this quarter, but unfortunately that time for McAvoy was there to take the mark.
Webster short to the back pocket and Patton will go down the line. Hardwick at the front, couldn't quite hang on. Jack Lonie says just give it a little bit more height with the kick. Give us a chance to really run and jump at it.
Thank you.
Patton, the late in for Geary, is coach Richardson, who by the end of the year will be the 2nd longest serving coach at St Kilda. He will stand hours in a few weeks, then go past Ross Lyon in round 11 and Grant Thomas in round 14. Started the year with 110, still a fair way behind the great Alan Jeans with 333. Warple quickly moves the ball on to Scully. Remarkable athlete to come back into this side a year to the day, doing his ankle and fitting in so seamlessly, keeping his body fit. Sicily, normally a good kick of the football, let off the inside. McKenzie, who was groggy moments ago, gets low, takes the mark and then just sets the Saints up on the outer side. Akers had it, lost it, still tries to get it back to him. So St Kilda were down by 7 after the rough head goal to start this second term. They've edged in front, lead by 4. Healthy sort of a crowd on a Sunday afternoon. Saints home game. Saints fans hoping to see their team win their 3rd of the season.
I've liked the works of James Cousins stepping in for Jager Amiga and Tommy Mitchell. He's had 13 touches so far this quarter, had a real impact.
Henderson, nice tap from Gunston, kept it moving for the Hawks inside 50. Puopolo gets on the end of it. Once again, a few little deft taps to players coming past, sometimes more effective than taking possession in traffic.
It is, it's all about territory. As you see, Gunston's tap on there to Cousins, who we just spoke about. A nice surge forward, sometimes for a forward line with small, agile players that Hawthorn have. It doesn't have to be a nice, pretty drop punt. It can be just kicked out in space and let them do their work.
Paul Puopolo.
The little slap-on should be given a name, and given Cyril was so good at it, Champion Data should name it the Cyril.
There's so many things you could name the Cyril. Yeah. It almost seems understated to just do it for a slap-on.
How did he play? Yeah, good. 30 touches, 6 tackles, 7 Cyrils.
Out on the ball.
So the Hawks can go forward, but it is cluttered and congested. Scrimshaw.
McAvoy's making his way down forward.
Guys,
He's
not
unattended.
good news there. James Frawley iced up, back of the bench, sitting next to head coach Alastair Clarkson. He is done for the day.
I missed that, Ab. What is on ice? Is it a hammy?
Yeah, it's just on the left leg. Sorry, Hames. So
Okay.
he is all iced up, ready to go, done.
Try and get the cameras on. Wingard trying to work his way through.
He's had a bad run of injuries as well, Chip. Every time he's got his body right back up there, he'll have either collision injury or something like this to set him back again.
So Isaac Smith has had work on his right hand, and as you can see, the ice on the left leg of James Frawley.
McAvoy tried to lay it at the feet of Warple. McKenzie and Warple go to ground with the football between them.
And Matty Parker still off for the Saints.
Look at that inside 50 dominance. The last 9, as you mentioned, Hodgie. St Kilda with 14 players in their defensive 50, so it's going out and coming straight back. They're trying to stand up under the pressure. Wingard with the tackle on Patton. And so far, it must be said, they're doing a pretty good job of pushing numbers back and scrambling.
Yeah, I think that's what they're after, just making sure there's no scores. As long as they get out there, all they need is 1 or 2 quick ones to get out the back for the St Kilda small forwards to get in the play.
And there's Parker, boundary side, receiving some more treatment as Akers is taken down by Puopolo. Work on his right calf.
Same 2 again, thank you.
McAvoy went looking for Gunston. Hunter Clark got in the way, found Billings, who's been the exit player on multiple occasions in this quarter. Bruce got to get up and force a contest against Sicily. Long got the crumb. Mirror in best position. Run down by Membry. Can't quite get it free. It spills out now. In dispute still as Membry feeds it back. Gresham ends up with it. Looks for Savage. Gresham gets it on the boot quickly. Nunes versus Hardwick over the top. Couldn't quite complete the mark. Had Smith in support. Slap back into the congestion. Membry went low. Mirror went lower. Comes to Scully. Scully can square it up and find Scrimshaw.
Scrimshaw being screamed at by Howe. He's ignored. Down the line he goes. Full stretch McAvoy. Not quite. Former teammate in Savage gave. Hunter Clark gave it back, and then Savage works the ball down the line. Little chance for Lonie. Not quite. Impey fast on the return.
This isn't great for Hawthorn. We've got James Cousins getting helped off with 2 trainers. They've already got Foley with ice on his hamstring. Another young midfielder who's had a good start to the game. He's had 14 touches.
You had just finished saying how impressed you were with him coming into that mix.
Well, he set up that last shot on goal from Paul Piopolo. They're taking him straight down underneath.
So Frawley on ice. Parker getting worked on. Looks to be a calf. Low leg injury for Parker. Isaac Smith has been in and out of the rooms with the right hand. And now, sadly, it's Cousins.
And this is pretty big for Hawthorn now, because at the moment they've got 6 defenders. Chip Frawley was their 7th. So now they've got to understand who's going to go the rotations. At the moment, the 6 defenders haven't had a rotation in the last 5-6 minutes since Frawley's been off. They pull Henderson back to the half-back line so they get a little bit of a break. And now they've got James Cousins injured in the middle, so it's really going to limit their rotations.
So without the runner out there, Hodgie, how do you do that?
It's tough. It's tough. You need your senior players to be talking. You need messages from your players going on and off the field. I reckon they'll be wanting half-time to come very quickly so they can reassess the injuries, but also the rotations when they get in there.
Still got 8 minutes to get there as Marshall launches it high and long. Membry tries to get there from the side. Bruce at the back. That's a good mark. Taken by Scrimshaw.
In the past, they have put Jack Gunston down back as well, but he's on the bench getting his hammies worked at the moment.
Scrimshaw goes out towards Roughhead against Marshall. Webster at the back. Couldn't control it. Wingard put his head down, won the football. Morrison couldn't break free. Ricochets off Wingard's boot. Ross. Morrison ran into Roughhead. Got it to Wingard again. Tough ball to get some open space with. Savage to Patton. Standing underneath it is Dan Howe. The inclusion for Jager O'Meara this afternoon. Coming off a hip injury of his own during the pre-season. First full game for Dan Howe last week was in the VFL. So he hasn't quite got the fitness base underneath him yet either.
You can see there Josh on the bench with a red tee. They've obviously got 2 blokes down who aren't coming back on at this stage. So that tells just to slow things down. They don't want to play too fast a football because they know they've got limited rotation. So
T for tempo.
T for tempo. I think they'll look at it now just to turn around and try and hit uncontested marks. Little chip plays like that. They will handball if someone's free going forward, but I think they want to slow the game down just to save the legs for the other 20 guys that are still playing.
So historically, would the runner have just run around saying tempo footy, tempo footy?
They'd normally go out, pass it to a senior bloke in the mid-back forward line. As Howe's coming off with blood roll on his chin.
He kind of dogged himself in there. He said to the umpire, hey, what about the whack in the face? He goes, yeah, you're right, you're bleeding. Off you go.
This is the Cousins injury. Did he step on the foot?
Stepped on the foot of Gresham, I think, and just rolled the ankle. Hopefully that's all it is.
Warple hits it to half forward. Roughhead knew there were a couple there, just knocked it down in their direction. Always sinking Ruffy. Segler became a rover momentarily. Here's a chance for Akers. Works it inside Ross. Runs into trouble. Stays in trouble, but got out of it via the handball. Akers, Marshall. Across he goes. Now Wilkie on that left boot of his. To Nunes. Quickly over the top. It's going to sit in there a long time. Membry wanted to be quicker. Scrimshaw won the battle, feeds it inside to Scully.
Now Mirror. Back outside once again to Scrimshaw. Raking left boot to half forward. Gunston couldn't quite. Umpire says a mark.
Umpire says a mark. Saints fans say no.
Gunston inside 50. Roughhead pushing and shoving over the back. Puopolo. Can he get his boot on it? Yes, he can. And that does not improve the mood of the Saints fans. Paul Puopolo gets his first. Hawks back in front.
That was a great win by Hawthorn on the wing to get it down to Gunston. It looked like a mark. He definitely held it for long enough, I reckon. We'll get a replay of it. And then it was a long kick into Pioplo for a nice little goal off the ground. Here's the kick in from Gunston. Nice contest from Roughhead. 3 St Kilda went to the contest, left Pioplo on the ground. And you can't leave a small forward with room out the back. Especially with someone who's as experienced as Pioplo.
He makes decisions very quickly. Always going to put it in the back of the net. He knew he was never going to take it in his hands.
No, it's just for the fact that if they've got someone pressuring from behind.
So we've got a warning to St Kilda starting positions.
For Ben Long just sneaking into the forward 50. A touch too late.
Play on.
Marshall, clever tap down. Gresham. Not easy. Lonie's going to have to do the chasing on this occasion. Hardwick got there first. Scrimshaw presses pause for the moment, then just works it through. Wanted Morrison, who was a tough kick to hit.
Hawthorn, not. Yeah, Hawthorn. No.
I kicked it.
There was no kick.
Yes, it was.
Time back on. Clear out, please.
In the history of sports, the umpire's ledger is very healthy in the arguments with the players. They always seem to win.
I think that's what frustrates a player, because he says, I've kicked it, and the umpire said, no, you didn't. The player knows if he's kicked it or not, it's just whether it's holding the ball.
The answer is, yes, he did kick it. I didn't see it correctly. I can't say, no, you didn't.
I think that's all the umpire has to say is, I didn't see you kick it, and the player's got nowhere to argue.
And Dean Kent gets, well, a modicum of redemption. Doesn't make up for the free kick in the first place in his eyes, but at least it minimises the damage. Ross to Akers. Inside 50 again. Sicily and Long did well. As Connor Nash goes down the race as well. They are the walking wounded at the moment.
That's your line. Mark's here.
At the moment, the only person they got on the bench is Jonathan Segler, who's available to come back on.
Well, we've spoken about the prodigious talents of Ben Long, the nephew of the great Michael. He is quite gifted. Can he electrify the St Kilda crowd? Just across the face, Billings got high. It ricochets off the post.
He had some real spark and excitement, doesn't he, Ben Long?
Yeah, speaking to their coaching staff during the week, Haim, he said he just adds something different, a point of difference to that midfield. Some raw speed, a bit of grunt, because it's a bit same, that midfield mix. Ben Long, if they can inject him in there, can just change things up a little.
You saw him earlier leading Ben Stratton to the ball, just every metre. He just gapped Ben Stratton. He's got real leg speed, so how can the Hawks...
This is this chip mark.
Work so undermanned this afternoon. Frawley out for the game. Cousins and Nash in the hands of the trainers. Cousins, we think, an ankle. Nash was having some work done on the hamstrings. Both on the champion data sheets have got blue lines through them, suggesting they are in the hands of the trainers. When it goes black, it's out for the day. Frawley has the black line through. Matt Parker, he's back out and moving about the place pretty freely, which is good news from a Saints perspective. So all clear for the Saints after a worry with Matt Parker.
Advantage.
Seb Ross happy to take it. Smith, who's had his own troubles with his hand this afternoon, does the chasing. Here's a chance for Kent. So Kent.
On the 50, yes.
Kent over the top. He goes into the pocket. Here's a chance. Lonie wants another. Lonie misses.
This is a pretty important time here for St Kilda. They can feel that Hawthorn, because of the lack of rotations, are really tight. They need to keep Pepper in the inside 50s against them.
Mira goes short to Gunston in the back pocket.
Thanks, Ben.
And the momentum in this game, it was all being played at Hawthorn's end, but the last 4 or 5 minutes, all at St Kilda's end. It's the Hawthorn defence having to stand up now. They're short on some numbers. Gunston goes long. It's the Saints circling, trying to land some blows. Akers, Ross, Billings throws it out wide. Quick kick from Wilkie. Good lunging effort down low from Clark. Again, just wants to move it quickly. Ross been everywhere. What a first half from Seb Ross. 22 touches. Inside 50, and it bounces away from memory harmlessly over the line.
Hawthorn have made that move. They got Jack Gunston, who was just worked down to the back half to have an extra number. He's pushing himself back up the forward line. But Jack Billings has had a really good quarter, up to 10 touches so far.
All 18 Hawthorn players in their defensive half of the ground at the moment as they try to absorb some pressure. Long in the ruck against McAvoy. Steele against Warple. Warple takes him down when not in possession. Ross gives it off. Spearing kick inside 50. Flying shot at goal from Lonie. Across the face, another minor score. He's getting some looks, Jack Lonie, 1-2 this afternoon.
Alan Richardson would have spoken to Ben Long. You're in this week, and you'll also be doing some ruck work against Ben McAvoy. Okay. Giving away 16 centimetres. Dangerous sort of a ball. Akers made it interesting.
St Kilda have been excellent in that part of the game. As soon as they've kicked it behind, they've been set up in their zone. I don't think Hawthorn's had an easy exit from 50 so far.
Scores level as they were at quarter time. 5-5 apiece. Smith works it, gets about 15 metres, but they lose possession. Savage over the top, ends up with Wilkie. Swings onto his left boot. Couple of Hawks arriving late in the end was Lonie. Hunter Clark wrapped up as soon as he got it from McAvoy. Almost busted out of the tackle as McAvoy was looking for the umpire to see what he was doing.
Ball was pinned. It was pinned. Yeah. Dan, and you're up. Daniel, out.
This time, Dean Kent up against McAvoy.
You take it.
He's already bandaged, Dan Howe. If you're ever going to attract another whack in the head, Hodgie, the bandage seems to do it.
Yeah, unfortunate then. He's just got a bit of a kite after getting tackled. But he's pretty tough house.
Mira goes short. Smith at defensive 50. 90 seconds left in the opening half.
Move it on.
It's been tight right from the outset.
You.
Isaac Smith doesn't hit it sweetly. Flirts with the line. Clears Segler and Marshall. Gee, Marshall's been impressive. What a first half from him. 12 possessions from the youngster, going at 92% efficiency. 7 clearances. It's been a good first half of football from Rowan Marshall, Hodgie.
Yeah, and that's what he's got to do. He's fighting against 2 bigger fellas, but it's where he's going to get him at the ground level.
He goes again with Segler. Manages to get a hand on it. Ross was taken down. Didn't quite take possession as the tackle from Howe was about to be stuck. And Seb Ross, 24th touch coming up. Hunter Clark.
Thanks, Daniel. Hold there.
Shape to give it to
East
Patton.
West. East West. You.
Pushes it very wide towards the pocket. Mirror at the front. Parker over the top.
Man, Hawthorn.
It's going to be a Hawthorn free kick.
Holding, Hawthorn.
Dave Mirror will get it.
You drag the arm down. Thank you. Time back on.
Here's another look.
He's right there. Yeah.
Pretty good call, I reckon, in the end.
As Mirror goes long. Some pushing and shoving in that contest as well. Puopolo off hands. Bruce tried to tiptoe through traffic. Roughhead just spins out of congestion, but into more. Billings taken down by Roughhead. Jarred free to Puopolo.
Right tackle, Hawthorn, Puopolo.
Morrison was just about to give him the handball. Saw he was going to be tackled. Held it up. Puopolo won the free kick. He finds Henderson on the wing. And 50. Well, disaster this for the Saints with 23 seconds left on the clock.
About 45, Rob.
Henderson doesn't need to rush this. He's running up. Take your time. Take your 30 seconds.
I was thinking we were going to have a level ball game at quarter time and half time. Rare thing that.
I think Hawthorn would feel pretty lucky as well. It feels like St Kilda have had a lot of the play, a lot of the momentum.
Only ever happened 13 times in the history of the game. The last was 2014, but a score here will make sure that isn't the case. Henderson, he's kicked it well. He's kicked it really well. So Henderson, a greying Henderson, it has to be said, kicks the long ball. Hawks lead by 6 points. About to get underway, Hawks. Last kick of the first half. Got them from the deadlock to a 6-point lead. Henderson was a goal scorer. McAvoy, he's been terrific all afternoon. Marshall gets away from the McAvoy tackle and then a long ball. Going to bounce at the 50. Scamper on. Stratton leads memory to the ball. Parker, who's had a few injury worries himself this afternoon, looks fit and well. Mackenzie suddenly has a blue line through him on the St Kilda list. So Cousins and Frawley still concerned. Mackenzie now concerned for the Saints.
Remember had that head clash and was a bit groggy in the second term.
I was just looking though at the list and it wasn't blue 5 minutes ago and suddenly is. Hope he's okay. Henderson, goal scorer, late in the second. Bruce, goal scorer all his life. Segler, terrific over the top of Brown. And with the injuries, Hodgie, the versatility of the Hawthorn players is going to come into its own. Here's a chance for Roughhead. Wilkie wins the battle. Quick handball over the top. Savage to Ross, who had a lot of the football early. Patton, the in for the skipper in Geary. Found his way to get to Bruce. Hardwick intercepted, and then low, clever kick. Spills out. But Clarko has always wanted his Hawks to be flexible and versatile.
Yeah, he's played them in multiple positions just for this reason. Just if they're out of the game, they can change positions to get into the game. Or if you have a number of injuries, you know that Gunston can go back and flip with a couple others. Sicily can go forward. So as long as they can get a couple more back on, which Cousins was moving around quite nicely before.
Always a good indicator when the player's got a polo shirt on eating an apple that he's done.
You would think so, yeah.
Touch ball, you.
Scully inside 50. Either that or he's really casual. Wilkie.
And really hungry.
Billings receives from Patton. On the bounce, Bruce just couldn't quite get the hands free. Good tackle from Hardwick.
Thank you. You chose to defend.
Squares it to Impey. Gets it and goes. Goes high and long towards half forward. Bruce out in front. Brown from behind. Spills to battle against Gunston at the back. Gunston controls it. Feeds it to Scrimshaw. Nice smother off his boot by Lonie. Opens a door for Nunes. Lonie. Billings. Slips the tackle almost. Nunes just left it behind. It was a good job from Mirror. Forced the handball backwards. Scrimshaw. Hardwick. Searching kick to Bruce. And Wilkie did enough to get it to the line.
The team has been excellent so far. The tackling, the smothers, the spoils, as I said, the intensity's lifted a lot.
If you're Alan Richardson at half-time, Hodgie, what would your message to the Saints have been?
It would have been just keep working hard, keep moving the ball, make Hawthorn run defensively, because if they've got a few injuries down, try and run them out of legs. Because that also takes away their ball movement and how they want to run and create with the ball.
Puopolo knew Warple was there. Ugly sort of a ball. Well done, Brown. It was going to be a tricky one off the bounce. Got his body in the right spot. So the Saints trail by 7. They're doing it without Hanbury and Stephen and Robertson and Carlisle, McCartan. Savage hasn't missed too much since he moved over from the team he's playing against today. Scrimshaw and Bruce. Scrimshaw heard it late, got off the handball. The bearded Mirror. Wrapped up by the smaller Lonie. So for all he done for the day, Cousins a question mark. Smith round the corner. Gunston led Patton to the ball. Kick and a half from home. Measures it really well. Roughhead's the man he wants. Got it to him. Ruffy just needed the second and then needed a third and didn't get it. But it might work out. Bruce just gets back. Onto his left he goes. He's got a way of finding it. He gets another. Hawks skip out to a 13-point lead. Some players think their way through tricky situations well. Bruce is one of those. He's so balanced on either side of his body.
That's me. He's so calm when he gets the ball because he's got a really good fend off. And he's also got that little goose step where he can go either left or right with a quick change of direction. So, as you see, any time around the goals, he's dangerous because of his movement, but also his football smarts. It was a nice pass from Gunston into Ruffy. Did all the hard work, dropped the mark, but then the ball kept alive through Puopolo, Wingard, and then finished off nicely from Bruce. But Ruffy's done a few nice things today, dropped a couple marks, but the connection from him and Gunston was good.
So breaking news from the St Kilda camp. Daniel McKenzie is out for the rest of the day with concussion. Obviously did an assessment of him at half-time. He failed. Warple's kick forward. Danger time here for the Saints. Margin out to a game-high 13 points. Hawthorn pressing again. Wilkie did well. Gresham. Savage. Looks for an option. It was Marshall. Kick didn't quite get there. Here's Henderson. No 50 on this occasion.
This is within kicking distance as well. He's a booming kick of the football.
Isaac Smith just drifted round the back, just in case he was feeling inclined to give it off.
15 gone. Stay behind, Isaac. Isaac, stay behind. Play off.
Henderson.
Decided for the team option.
Patton, front and centre, Bruce. Wingard, goal. Hawks making their move.
Perfect contest there from Wingard, then handball back from Bruce.
Chad Wingard gets on the board. Kicks his 4th of the season. And suddenly, the margin is out to 19 points. Seven inside 50s to 1 in this 3rd term. We've played just over 6 minutes.
I wonder if that was a set play, because they brought all the tools back onto the line thinking he's going to be a long shot at goal, and then he's dropped the kick short for Wingard, who's a 5'8" small forward, but he can create the ankle because of his leap, and then smart handball from Bruce for the goal.
In which case Isaac Smith was playing his role, pretending on the mark that he was trying to get him an extra couple of metres.
Footballers / actors out there for Hawthorn, all doing it well at the moment. The momentum's absolutely with them. The last 2 of the 2nd term, first 2 of the 3rd. And Wingard, who put in a blinder last week and went home an early clubhouse leader for fans' favourite new player.
You just saw them, Connor Nash from Hawthorn, number 11, just came back on after leaving just before half-time and going down into the race.
Hodgie, James Cousins has also come back on. He was involved in that centre bounce, ready to test out that right ankle.
Well, that makes a huge difference. Have an extra 2 on the bench for rotations. You'd see Hawthorn at the end of the 2nd quarter. Looked like they ran out of steam a little bit through lack of rotation, so good sign for them.
The trainers and the medicos from both clubs have been called upon a lot today. No sports with better medicos anywhere in the world, is there, Hodgie?
I wouldn't think so. They do a fantastic job, and even with the medical staff, with Mackenzie when he got hit in the head, very cautious with that.
Segler caught behind. Marshall did well, knocked it down to Steele. Ends up with Billings, who gave it off to Gresham, who's always darting and weaving and looking dangerous. Akers clashes in the air with Henderson. He goes to ground. Ball falls in his lap.
Both going for the mark.
So does anything change now for St Kilda that they're 3 goals down, Hodgie?
No, not really, because the way they play, they can score fast. I said they got small, agile forwards. Once they get it in there and there's a bit of space, they can kick goals really quickly. So keep going what they had in the first half, and they're going to get their opportunities.
Smith, the high up and under. McAvoy, terrific. Here's Warple from 55. It's long. It's going to fall short, though, and Wingard. A little chance through Nash's legs. Little give. Wants Ruffhead, who'll swing onto his left. Ruffy around the corner, high. Shuffle from the umpire.
They've got to be careful here, though. Hawthorn have got a bit of a charge on here. They need to limit the goals. Try and take a bit of spunk out of the game from Hawthorn. Just slow the game down.
Need a bit of time in possession here, the Saints. Savage receives the kick in. It's been all Hawthorn early in this 3rd term. Savage, low punching kick towards Kent. Free kick to the Hawks for a nudge. It's going to Dave Mirror. So the pressure valve not released just yet. Mirror goes long. Ruffhead gets in a position.
It's amazing how he can drop a mark as he's a simple lead straight in front, and then runs across and jumps in front of 3 and takes a nice contested mark.
Just escaped his opponent. Had Patton as the man closest to him. Nathan Brown, flat-footed.
Patton will be a bit disappointed there. He should have come across, maybe cut off Ruff's run and jump and let Brown just take an easy mark. Brown or Marshall were both there.
Ruffhead for his 2nd. Sizzling start to the 3rd term from the Hawks. They've rammed on 3 quick goals. And within 10 minutes, they've blown out a 6-point lead to a 26-point lead.
Yeah, Dylan, you there, mate? We've got Dylan Robin in the coach's box at St Kilda. Obviously doesn't have his headphones on, but we'll hopefully get to him shortly. But You there, Dylan?
Yeah, I've got him on.
Yeah, mate, how you going? Hey, we're just wondering there, Hawthorn have got a little bit of a run on here. Has there been any talk about trying to slide someone back just to get that extra little bit of defence stability before you?
Yeah, well, they're getting a lot of ground position on us, so we're just thinking about whether we send sort of a 7th back to help us move the ball out and sort of stem the flow a little bit. So we'll look at something like that.
Excellent. Thanks, mate.
Appreciate it, Dylan. In the middle. Parker.
Thanks, gents. I'll take it.
And Scully colliding.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Rowan and Ben.
Plenty of pleasantries out in the middle of the umpire, not so from the players between each other. Hawks by 26, game high lead. Saints need to respond. Morrison outmarked by Akers, who's a thumping kick of the football. Rolls round onto his right boot, puts it to the square. Who's at home? Kent and Scrimshaw, and Scrimshaw shows his dexterity in the air. Terrific. Always knew where the footy was. Something through one behind.
16 possessions so far for Jack Scrimshaw. Thumping kick from Sicily, almost to the centre of the ground. Bit more nudging in that marking contest. Cousins front and centre. Over the top. Battle. Anxious moments with Nash closing. Had some support. Flipped it over the top. Chance for St Kilda to attack through the middle now. Savage, good penetration on the kick. Marshall can go inboard. Parker, confronted by Scrimshaw. Goes low and long. Sicily just gets a hand on it.
Hawthorn have jumped St Kilda with contested possession. They're up by 8 in this 3rd quarter, and that's where the difference is so far.
Sicily moves it on quickly. Takes the territory to the back pocket and finds Dave Mirror. So the margin at an even 4 goals. Approaching the midway point of the 3rd term. Down went Stratton. He looks to be in trouble. Real trouble, Ben Stratton. Ball back inside 50. Still alive for the Saints. Nunes. Good tackle from Scully. And there is Ben Stratton as Jack Nunes couldn't escape. Free kick to the Hawks.
The Hawks in 3rd terms this year have been phenomenal. They're the best of any team in any quarter. They've scored 13-14, conceded just 3 goals for the year, 3-7. The percentage in 3rd terms, 368%. So they've just started this quarter brilliantly, and they don't look like stopping. Came in 6-point leaders, got the first 3 goals. Saints desperate for one here. Billings. A hopeful kick. Nothing really doing. Mirror did brilliantly. Scrimshaw didn't get flustered. Knew Henderson was there. Gave off the handball. He in turn to Scully. Goes short with a kick. So Scully happy just to go sideways with the ball. Mirror moonwalks in the goal square and then eases one over the top to Sicily.
He goes long down the line. 2-on-1. Sinclair and Impey. Sinclair looked to engage. Impey wins the free kick. And here's Roughhead with Puopolo. Launch it high and long. Tailor-made for Gunston. Bruce at ground level. Billings there as well. Patton won the hot football. Steele. Billings. He works it to Kent. Kent will attack up the middle. Beautifully weighted kick. Split 2 Hawks and found Gresham. He's got Lonie forward of the football. He's got a couple of options out to the right as well. He'll hoist it high. Sicily will stand underneath it. Bruce will fly. Scrimshaw at the back once again. Tidies up. Lovely tackle. Will be rewarded. Akers over the top to Nunes. And the Saints get one back. Jack Nunes gets his first critical goal for the Saints. Margin back to 18 points. The 26-year-old's first for the season comes at a crucial time. As Ben Stratton will come off for assessment. We saw him groggy moments ago as well. There's the incident with Ben Stratton where he got clipped in the contest by Jack Sinclair.
And I think the doctors just want to check him over because he's just ran from the field there. And he's talking to Michael Deasy at the moment, the Hawthorn doctor.
Clearly dazed.
He looked to be in real trouble, guys. The trainer went over and immediately called for further assistance. So the doctor have basically forced him from the ground. And as we see there, he's heading down to the rooms.
Thanks, Abby. So it has been a brutal afternoon for both sides. captain of the Hawks, the latest to feel what this game can dish out. Hawks trying to respond quickly. A Newnes goal at one end. Scully trying to set one up. Works onto his right boot. Tommy Scully. His first as a Hawk came earlier today. That's his second. And the 10th for the Hawks.
It was just good team football. Connor Nash kept the ball in, handball over the top to Piopolo, I think it was, who didn't take possession. It's one of those knock-ons you were talking about before, Hamish. Tapped it onto Scully, who on his number 3rd. It was a beautiful snap. Nice little handball. Smart from Piopolo, who Scully was very composed there. That's the thing with St Kilda. They got a nice goal back just through their forward pressure and their ball movement. They've got to hold on. They can't gift one back within 2 minutes.
Margin back out.
That hard to get it.
24 points. Lovely finish on the non-preferred from Tom Scully. McAvoy, nice tap down to Cousins. Now Smith. Awkward half volley for Patton. Thunders into Warple. Warple slaps it out into a dangerous position. It's taken by Sinclair. Goes towards Long, who had a couple of metres on Scrimshaw, and that's all he needed. Run from behind comes from Billings. Takes the heat off the kick. Went towards Kent, was punched away by Hardwick. Kent then lays the tackle on Impey. Ball spills out. Steele tries to keep it moving. Sinclair tries to bust through.
Ball up.
It's Jared Roughhead.
Rowan, Ben.
Speaks with Ricky Pettit.
Don't hold.
And Alistair Clarkson. Another clearance for the Hawks. Howe. Received from Cousins. Kick to the wing. Wilkie couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Gathers the loose football and is bundled out by Jack Gunston.
We spoke earlier about St Kilda and their stoppage clearances early in the game. They dominated the game early, but this 3rd quarter, Hawthorn lifted their intensity, their contested possession, and their clearances 10-4. That's why they've been able to hit the scoreboard.
Marshall knew where his friends were, couldn't quite get it to them. Gunston wanted Warple, intercepted by Steele. Clever little tap, and then Impey finds himself floating in front of Ben Long. Impey back to Mirror. Sicily just had to let the ball settle. Membry has got a bit to do, and he did it well. Off to Lonie. Lonie inside. Bruce on his right side for lefty. Not 100% sure he wanted to take the kick, so gave it off to Lonie.
St Kilda.
He got the first of the afternoon from a St Kilda perspective. The Saints fans are hoping he'll get the next.
That's where that switch back across play. A lot of supporters just want them to kick it long inside the forward line. They switch play to create space and easy access over the other side of the ground. But if you miss that switch kick there, as they did, it's a dangerous spot to turn the ball over, and St Kilda, as a result, getting a shot on goal.
Lonie desperate to get his second and make it a 3-goal game. A little worrying, but not in the end. It finishes well. Lonie gets his second. Saints get their 7th. There was a knock on him early in terms of the finish. If he can become reliable in front of goals, he's got a lot to add. Hawks by 3 goals. They've had a habit of responding to the Saints' goals. How do they respond now, the Hawks? Or can the Saints go back to back?
And this is the crucial kick. Yes, the coaches want you to switch a play, but you've got to be able to hit that kick so then they can roll on to the next opponent. Missing that kick here, Sicily should have taken the ball out. St Kilda won that contest, switched it back inside, and it was a nice goal by Lonie. He's had a real impact. He's kicked 2 goals, 3, and set up that last one through his, the one before through his pressure.
Important one-on-one win there from Membry. Just his 3rd touch for the day. He needs to get more involved. Warple, Morrison, Cousins handball smothered. Parker goes into Warple. Morrison again to Cousins, and eventually Hawks get it forward. Segler slaps it down. Bruce hits it at speed. Wingard lurking. Puopolo there as well. Wingard tries to squeeze it through the gap to Roughhead. Punched away. Chance here for Clark. Roughhead comes at him as well.
Thank you. Rowan, Ben. Yeah. Blood rule. Oh, sorry, mate. Blood rule, St Kilda, Rowan Marshall.
He caught one in the last centre bounce there, Marshall. He's been really good for him. He's fought hard. Had the 7 clearances, 14 touches.
Are you going up in the ruck? Yeah.
We just see the incident here. Just copping a knock on the back of the head of McAvoy. And he's just made his way to the bench. He'll get patched up and get back out there pretty quickly, guys.
Not sure which one did the damage. He hit McAvoy and then got kneed in the face as well. McAvoy wins the tap. And as far as Patton, he's dispossessed by Howe. Wingard looks for the fend off on Nunes. Steele took it to the line. It's out on the full. Unlucky for the Saints. There's a bit of confusion as to who's getting it.
It's a Warple shot on goal.
Should be a Hawthorn ball.
Blood rule, Hawthorn.
And so Chad Wingard probably had a shot for goal coming up, but he's got to come off as well.
I'll push down, mate.
Go through.
Yeah.
Mark's here.
So the medical staff need a bit of a break here. Every 2 minutes they're getting someone coming off.
Hope they're bulk billing.
That's your line. Just wait, though.
You saw what Henderson did last time. I'm thinking Warple, second-year play. He's not going to have a shot for goal from there. He's going to probably put it at the top of the goal square, where you see Roughhead sitting down there, Connor Nash down there as well.
Thanks, Joe.
And look for a Pioplo to crumb for him.
Gone.
Could be wrong. He might be going for it.
Sits it up. Cross.
Should have went to the top of the goal square.
Things have changed since you left, Hodgie.
Minus score, James Warple. Saints critical 7.5 minutes now as they look to hang in this game and try to eat into Hawthorn's lead.
Long kick of the football is Savage, and he works it close to the circle. Somehow Sinclair, after losing his feet and Hardwick going down in front, managed to get his hands to it. Akers backs himself with speed. Over the top he goes. Gresham will do the same. Clever player from 50. It's an ugly sort of a kick. Membry hasn't seen a lot of the football. Scrimshaw wins the battle. Did well. Turned him inside out. Kept his head and his feet and gave it off to Mirror. Umpire says...
St Kilda supporters not happy again. There's been a couple close ones like that.
Well, their point would be, who's he kicking it to?
He's either a terrible kick if he's trying to kick it to Isaac Smith, or it's deliberate, isn't it, Hodgie?
Yeah, I'm tipping that might have been deliberate. There was no one out there.
Had to have been.
Chart still for the Saints. Akers again trying to bustle his way through.
On the ball, let it go, Hawthorn.
Unhappy 30 seconds if you're a Saints fan.
Harry Morrison has it. Long to the wing. Wilkie with the fist. Steele to the line. There's Ben Stratton back from his concussion test. Update from Abs shortly. Chad Wingard getting his nose patched up. Rowan Marshall on the St Kilda bench likewise. So Akers doing the ruck work. Warple, Howe, Bruce. Floats a handball over Ross's head. Cousins tries to twist and turn. Can't escape. They pile in on top.
St Kilda have realised that Hawthorn got on top of the clearances, so they've pushed extra forward up around the stoppage just to try and get a bit of support.
McAvoy tried to control it. It's flipped out to Savage. Goes to the voice of Seb Ross. Looking to ignite the Saints. Beautiful switch kick into the path of News. It's got a runner coming past or one up the middle. Membry starting to get involved in this third term. It's got a man all alone at forward 50. Kick hangs in the air. Warple goes back with courage but can't stop Akers, who delivers short to Bruce. It's been a quiet day for Bruce and Membry. 4 touches for Membry, 5 for Bruce. But if they can both get involved from here on in, Hodgie, they can be game changers.
That's what shows when you switch the ball, open up the ground, there's more leading lanes for the key forwards to lead into. A lot of St Kilda's ball movement so far has been either surge footy or long down the line. So they open up with a bit of width here and got Bruce a nice little lead up the middle.
6-4 for the season, his first shot this afternoon. 35 out, directly in front. Margin back to 13 points. And the Saints took a shaky situation and have stabilised it somewhat. Halved the Hawks' lead and put themselves back in the contest. With 5 minutes remaining in the third. Isaac Smith to the bench. And Chad Wingard checks back into the game. Critical 5 minutes there for the Saints, Hodgie. They managed to stabilise the situation and then eat into Hawthorn's lead.
Yeah, exactly right. The ball mover there was crucial. They've added an extra forward into the stoppage just to sort of stop the Hawthorn dominance, and that one worked. They got it out of the clearance. They moved the ball well and went inside 50, kicked a nice goal.
Hawks got the last 2 of the second term, the first 3 of the third, so 5 in a row. But since then, Hawks have got 1 of the last 4. Saints, the last 2, Lonie and Bruce, and they're playing with a real urgency now. Parker, the desperate tackler.
Thank you. Thanks, Jess. Well,
Marshall off for the Bod rule. Mackenzie out for the day for the Saints. Stratton still a question mark. Blue line through him. Frawley out for the day. 13-point leaders. The Hawthorn Footy Club. Saints on a bit of a roll at the moment. Can they get the next and get it back to single figures? The former Pie, who's been such a handy defender for the Saints, works it forward. Membry starting to get a little more involved in this game. Hawks did lead by 26, lead by 13. Saints push inside 50. Morrison, a bit of a wait. Now Howe trying to work his way through. Handball in the Henderson direction. Works out okay. Puopolo fed it back inside. Morrison floats one over the top. Back to Henderson. Stops. And then kicks 40 metres from the standing start. Chance now for Nash. The 2-11s do battle on the outer side. Scully, little handball through the gap. Bruce to Nash. Takes a couple on. Back it goes to Scully. Little bit of time to get the fumble. Picks it up. Goes in the McAvoy direction. Roughhead, hands and knees. Somehow ball is kind. Comes back in his direction. McAvoy, Wingard, a fumble. Desperate stakes. Wilkie, ball is trapped.
Well fought there by St Kilda defenders. It looked like Roughhead was putting a block on for McAvoy to take a mark. They fought hard and got a stoppage in the defensive 50.
thank you.
3 minutes remaining in the third. Roughhead once again on the bottom of that pack. Fighting for the football.
Ball's out, no. My ball, thank you.
Such a big swing, the next one, isn't it, Jace? 7 or 19-point game.
If you look from behind there, you can see Segler and Sicily sitting in the middle. So if St Kilda win this stoppage, they need to kick it out wide.
Deft tap from Wilkie, smothered off the boot of Nunes. Fortunately for the Saints, it ricochets to Sinclair. Punches the kick to the city side. Kent comes out. Contact in the air with Morrison. Parker at the back. Spins. Uses a couple of runners. Gresham's going to be confronted by Segler. Gets boot to ball. Gains some territory. Bouncing football will suit Sicily. Membry will try to close him down. Sicily can flip it over the top to Impey. Membry chases him as well, but the numbers win out for the Hawks. Mirror up the middle. Scully. Good effort from Battle, but couldn't quite control the footy. Howe. Scully. Fatigue kicking in late in the term. Segler down the line for Puopolo. And the animal enclosure on the city side has been in full voice this afternoon.
You can sort of see the pressure there from St Kilda. Hawthorn over handball, then they just need to get a composed kick, but the amount of pressure that St Kilda put on the Hawthorn ball carrier has been excellent.
2.5 minutes before three-quarter time. Akers and Segler. No clear win. Sinclair goes and gets the football. Gives it off to Billings. Little duck cleverly from Steele. Got it off. The Saints push forward only as far as Impey. Clever little handball to Hardwick. Back inside to Henderson. Had to go low. Took it cleanly. Gave it back to Impey. Around the corner. Howe once, twice. Not quite the clean take. Billings lost it. Still involved with a tackle. Warple taken by Akers off his foot. Morrison, he saw it quickly. Grabbed the footy, umpires.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. They've got one back, the Saints.
That's right, isn't it?
I think that's footy karma for a couple that they might have been stiff on earlier, but yeah, clearly that was
off the Akers boot.
Akers' boot. 2 up for the Saints, and long down. high ball. Lonie's going to have to stand underneath it and force a contest. He does just that. Might even win it at ground level. He does. Keeps it moving inside 50. Sicily in the way. Lonie goes after him and hammers him over the line.
Right up. Throw it in.
Wait, Daggers.
Yep.
Ben, St Kilda ruck. St Kilda ruck.
There's a call again. They're trying to shut it down. Last minute and a half of the game. Just take the life out of the game, going with a good lead.
Lonie almost couldn't take it cleanly. Kent, quick kick out of trouble. Warple, swinging boot is going to be a free kick. In danger to Jack Lonie, who's been everywhere in the last couple of minutes. Against Ricky Henderson. Nothing malicious in it.
He was unlucky there, Henderson, because Lonie came from where he wasn't looking. Lonie was amazingly courageous.
He's really given them some spark, and Hodgie, as you mentioned, just their intensity in the front half in the last 10 minutes has just lifted this entire team and got them back in the game.
Yeah, it has. We've turned around we spoke earlier about the Hawthorn one leading the tackles. St Kilda have now jumped there. They're 51 to 44 for the game in tackles, and that's what's got them back into this game.
Biggest kick of the afternoon to date. 2 goals, 3 to Jack Lonie, and the frustration all over his face.
He's been lively. He's been good around goals, just needs to convert those opportunities.
2-4 now, the tally next to Lonie's name. Long ball into the middle of Marvel. McAvoy, Nash collide. Feeding off it was Warple.
Holding the ball, St Kilda.
Happy to take the advantage. Akers runs into a dead end. Over the top he goes. Long or Sinclair. Sinclair did well. Grabbed the ball, got himself out of trouble. Bruce, Membry, Clark. Almost. Clark flew high. He couldn't quite reel it in, and with 13 seconds to go, the Hawks will be hanging on grimly. The Saints desperate to force the error.
What a fly from Membry.
I think it was Clark who flew. Membry was watching on.
Goes short to Morrison. They've just got to be tidy. And they are.
Hold there.
And once again, for the second quarter in a row, the ball finishes in the hands of Ricky Henderson. And we are set for an exciting final term at Marvel Stadium. The Hawks jumped away. They got out to a 26-point lead before the Saints started to reel them back. The margin as we head for the final change, 11 points.
Frawley out for the game, McKenzie out for the game. A line through Stratton, which I understand is going to become permanent. And Marshall, he's been off with the blood rule. It's been a combative afternoon. The last change, the Hawks lead by 11.
So the Saints trail by 11 points as we start the final term on Sunday football. It's been a gripping contest. Gresham to Ross. St Kilda finished the third term full of running. Ross floats a kick inside 50. Membry the target, bounces past them. Chance at the back for Hardwick. Membry keeps his feet. Bruce there as well. Mirror through the hands of Morrison. Long lurking as Sicily just bangs it out of there. Gives them a chance to catch their breath. Billings links up with Savage. He goes inside 50 and finds the very impressive Rowan Marshall. First saw him playing VFL football for North Ballarat a few years ago.
Shane, take him out, please.
And he looked a cut above back in 15 and 16. He was originally born in New Zealand from a rugby family. Third in North Ballarat's best and fairest back in 2016 in the VFL. Got onto the rookie list the next year at St Kilda. Put on 13 kilos and now has an AFL frame to go with his AFL talent. Chance to kick his first of the season. He's kicked 6-13 in his career. Just scrapes in for a minor score. Saints been a little wasteful, 8-10 to 10-8. It's a 10-point game.
The Saints so good in the last term against the Dockers last weekend in the West. Against the wounded Hawks with Stratton and Frawley out. They've lost McKenzie, the Saints. So overall, they've got one healthier man. Patton late in for Geary, who's got the virus. Nunes, who hasn't missed since round 1, 2014, sends the ball inside 50. Marshall, he's had a sighter. Can he nail his second attempt in the last?
Thank you.
There's got to be questions asking why a bloke of that size can take a pretty much an uncontested mark in the forward. You can see Hardwick coming across trying to intercept it, but you've got to go to the tall target, especially when it's a long kick in.
10 seconds left.
Only score of the afternoon was the point 30 seconds ago. Marshall to make it a 4-point game. He straightened things up and Saints fans cheer.
He's deserved that goal. He's had a solid game in the middle. He's battled hard against the too big a ruckman. He's fought for clearances and to push forward, kick goals. Well rewarded.
So Lonie and Bruce, the last of the third. Marshall, the first of the last.
Kind of got a bit of Voldemort about him with that look at the moment. But 1-1 in this final term, and suddenly it's a 4-point game. Hawks got out to a 26-point lead early in the third term. The Saints have steadily reeled them back. Marshall into the action again against McAvoy. Tries to win the football at ground level. Ross got a good piece of that as well.
Nice little headlock at the same time.
Thank you.
Lock up again. Warple read it nicely. Scurries away. Pumps it long inside 50. Segler the target. Brown got front position. And that's the benefit of getting front position.
Arms around. You're holding him. Mark's here.
St Kilda supporters are relieved there. They felt like they've been hard done by today with a few free kicks that haven't gone their way.
Brown out towards the wing. Marshall and McAvoy link up again off the chest of Marshall. Gresham had a fresh air swing. Morrison taken down. Warple likewise. Umpire says throw it in. As James Warple stepped up this season in the absence of some more seasoned midfielders. And he's been most impressive, averaging 26 touches a game through his first 3. He's had 22 so far this afternoon.
McAvoy wanted Pioplo, couldn't find him. Webster shimmies his way through, got the hands off to Jack Steele. He in turn to Wilkie. Akers happy to receive it. Sinclair had to jump. Over the top it goes. Marshall kicked the last. Akers inside 50 into the square. Front spot Membry. Henderson got a bit lucky. Membry at full stretch couldn't bring it in. Scrimshaw. Henderson. Not 15. Heard the umpire. Now Mirror through the goal square. Bruce closes in. Mirror got the boot to ball. McAvoy flies. Sicily too. Couldn't work it out. Gresham short ball. Nunes. This for the lead for the Saints.
That's twice the Saints have been able to hit a short little 45 kick into a pretty much a free opponent. Hawthorn need to congest that middle area. If there's going to be free spots in the forward 50, it's got to be towards the pocket. It's too dangerous an area in there.
Saints have only been in front for 20 minutes the entire afternoon. Hawks for just over an hour. 4 of the last 5 goals have been to the Saints. Nunes never really gave it a chance. 3-point game.
Saints have kicked 3-4 from set shots. It feels like a lot of those ones should have probably been able to kick. They missed 2 of those 45 out straight front.
Hardwick goes long. 2-on-1 again. Akers landed awkwardly. He's down. High kick from Wilkie. Smith gets across, but he can't beat Membry to the football.
I've got it. I'm right here. Thanks, it's your kick.
Umpire says it's out of bounds on the full.
Cheers. Play on.
Isaac Smith. Onto that trusty left and launches it long towards the wing. Segler won't quite get to the contest. He was the target. Akers stood tall, having a real influence. The youngster, 22nd touch coming up. Looks to switch now to Savage. Billings works hard for him across the ground as they try to just open up the forward 50 and just stretch that Hawthorn defensive zone, Hodgie. Just try to separate the Hawthorn defence.
Yeah, exactly right. It's normally what Hawthorn want to do to their opposition, but St Kilda, they've got it on their terms at the moment. Hawthorn's last 4 or 5 exits from defensive 50 being long bombs, where this is smart from St Kilda. Stretch the zone and then be able to pick holes through it.
Webster to Ross. Now Membry on the half volley. The idea was right, but the execution just not quite there.
The crucial part is you've got to hit those targets. If that target gets hit there, Membry rolls around, he's got gaps everywhere in the forward 50.
So you might think it's pointless, the switch and then the switch back, but what it did is drag all the Hawthorn defenders to the broadcast side and open up more space on the opposite side.
Yeah, and it normally works if we hit targets. We've seen both teams do it today, but they've missed those easy targets switching across the ground, which frustrates supporters and coaches. But when it works well, when they hit the targets, it gives really good opportunities.
Another opportunity for the Saints. Akers in the Bruce direction. Lonie went with his right boot. Loves his left. Another behind for Lonie. 5 for the afternoon. 2 goals, 5. Another opportunity goes begging. You saw the stat moments ago. 75% this term the Saints have had it in their forward half. They've added just the one major.
And this is where Hawthorn need to pick targets. There's one shot. Isaac Smith short. It's taken too long. Goes back long down the line.
Warple, low ball, Segler, got to beat Brown, he arrived late, forced the issue, did well. Ball in dispute, well, only momentarily. Howe gave it off to Wingard. Cousins runs into Seb Ross. Boundary line lurks. They've still got time here, the Hawks, to feed it back inside. Warple did well to Isaac Smith. In turn to Scully. Happy to bring it across the ground. Scrimshaw, time to get and give. Now to Henderson. Little undecided, might retreat, does. To half-back proper to Sicily. To the outer side again it goes where it was about 60 seconds ago. Warple decides to go low. Kick is perfect to Howe.
He goes inboard to Cousins, who takes a nice half volley back to Howe. Run from behind is Morrison. Runs to 70 metres. Unloads to the pocket. Wilkie will arrive late. Saves the day for the Saints because Gunston was standing underneath it. And Callum Wilkie arrived from nowhere, left his man, got across.
That was a great contest. It was 3v1 if that ball had a drop to the back. He's played most game time at anyone, and after a super effort like that there.
Roughhead tried to flip it, but only as far as Gresham. Cousins ran over the top of it. Howe goes and picks it up, feeds Cousins. Brings it into a dangerous spot. Henderson comes across. Couldn't quite mark. Gunston immediately tackled by Savage. Importantly pinned the arms. Scully still lurking. Feeds it through. Henderson, the dangerous Wingard. Wilkie gets him. Back to Henderson. Towards the top of the goal square. Puopolo at the back. Dangerous from any position.
He practices these all the time, Puopolo. He'll go back, he'll take his full 30 seconds, and then he'll quickly run around. Nice little snap.
You back him in?
I'll back him in. He's practiced this way too many times.
1-1 this afternoon.
And he's kicked it on the full. Done that twice today. Gunston and Puopolo, two blokes played a lot of footy with. They've let me down.
Next premiership reunion could be a little awkward, Hodgie. Sadly for you, there's one every year.
I'll back him next time he gets it.
Nunes sends the ball to the wing and hopes there's a flyer from a Saints perspective. Bruce was one of those. Henderson did well to keep it in. Scrimshaw never took it cleanly. Went through his legs, long, backs himself, little handball, couldn't get back on the ball. In the end, well done, Kent, but ran out of space. 2-point game. Still got 12 minutes and change on the clock. Ben Stratton and James Frawley out for the Hawks. McKenzie out for the Saints. Whose coach's box would you like to be in, Hodgie, from here? Try and get rid of the bias.
Now, as I said, the Saints are looking better this part of the quarter. But what you know from Hawthorn, they're not going to die down. They need to keep picking holes, though. They've been too contentious to kick long down the line. They need to start moving the ball like this. Short little 45 kicks, which opens up the play. Now they can either go long down the line or a little switch kick. Harry Morrison's on in the middle.
Smith chips down the line. Bruce takes it on the chest despite the late arrival of Seb Ross.
Thank you. Just push out here, please. Thanks. Play on. You.
Roughhead in from the side. McAvoy at the front. Dangerous ball. Nunes. Clark did well. Stood up in the Puopolo tackle. Got it out to Nunes, who goes to Sinclair, and he marks at defensive 50. What's he got up the line? Nothing right now. Dave Mirror's back there in coverage, as you can see. Great effort from Billings to get across as Mira was dragged forward. Couldn't quite get there. The short kick made a lot more sense. If he had kicked it long, it would have been straight to Dave Mira.
He's been good today, Billings. This is his 28th touch.
Searching kick. Big fly from Sicily. And now the Hawks will look to switch. Howe set up in the middle of the ground. Scrimshaw's got a runner over the top. It's the dangerous Isaac Smith. He's got another runner to the inside. Cousins launches a really high ball inside 50. Savage went up. Saints with the numbers at the back. Wilkie, Webster, Patton, Lonie. And they work it to Billings.
Some big moments coming up for both sides. Hawthorn defence under siege in the last few minutes. They've stood up. Little 50-50 balls have gone their way.
Hold there.
Inexperienced Saints side. 6 of their players out there with 20 games or less experience. Marshall, he's one of those. Game 16 this afternoon. Parker, another. Have they got the experience to beat the Hawks this afternoon?
Thanks,
one of these teams, assuming no draw, goes 3-1. Marshall kicked the only goal of the term. Kent had it, lost it. Bruce, little give to Impey. Cousins takes a few on, did well. High up and under. A wait for Nunes. He waits well. Now thinks about where to next. Handball to the running Wilkie. In front, Membry. Still got the foot, he did well. Handball was poor. Put his man under pressure in Lonie. He gave it up. Gunston gives it off. Howe sees his man he wants. Rough head. Always reliable for this unbelievable Hawks team. Can they find a way to hang on? Couple of men out.
Jimmy Webster strained to get there. Couldn't quite. Rough head goes to the pocket. Wingard and Puopolo. Billings bustled him off the football. Patton. Ross. Not much to go to down this side of the ground. He's got a one-on-one with Parker and Impey. Clears to a 2-on-1 now because Smith has drifted across. Impey can look for a target. Pressure came from Parker. Morrison went up and Patton slapped it to the line.
Just looks like St Kilda have more run at the moment. That mark when Roughhead took it. They see Impey down. Got the hit as he kicked it. St Kilda are able to work hard back to get numbers behind the ball. Hawthorn really struggled to squeeze in there and put pressure on him.
So the Hawks temporarily a man down. Marshall over the back to Ross. Got boot to ball quickly. Gresham hunts it to the line, but can't get there in time. And with less than 9 minutes left on the clock as we take a look at Jarman Impey. It's a 2-point Hawthorn lead.
Hawthorn have got, St Kilda have got Long by himself in front of the footy because Impey's still over in the trainer's hands. No one has readjusted and worked down the defence.
No biting finishes for Saints fans all year. 1, 11 and 5 points the margin. The 3 games so far. 2 of them wins. Last week a loss. If you just joined us, the Gold Coast, another game decided by under a goal. 2-point winners over the Blues. Only happened 5 times in the game's history. The club has won or been involved in 4 games in a row by a goal or less. The Suns have won 3 of them. The Hawks trying to win their 3rd. Sicily on the end of the Nash handball. Now to Howe. Howe just ambles down the wing, then over the top he goes. Arriving late. There's a man that was late in, Ben Patton.
Spoken to a few teams that have played St Kilda the last couple of weeks, and what they said is they play as a team, and you can sort of see this, how they're defending for one another. Someone will squeeze up to put frontal pressure on. The teammate will roll around and cover their players. It's great team footy.
Marshall and Segler. Billings involved again. Savage sells the dummy, opens up the ground. Wilkie can go laterally to Ross. 36 touch for Seb Ross. Feeds Webster. Had Parker down the line and Bruce. Spirals a kick to half forward. How does it bounce? Long almost controlled it. Membry did. Lonie. Steele. High ball. Straining to get there is Kent. Thought about the give to Lonie inside. Maybe just thought, Jack, you've kicked 2-5 today. I might take this one myself.
And that was just great reaction time from him. He saw where the ball was going. He put in the hard yards. Not too many people beat Isaac Smith to a floater ball, but he read it well. It was a nice chest mark.
Dean Kent. Crossed from Melbourne this season. 2 goals, 4 for the season. This to give the Saints the lead. And it has been the tale of their afternoon. If they go down this afternoon, they will lament their poor kicking around goal. They've generated the opportunities, but so far just have not taken them.
Seven to play. The Hawks by just a couple of points. Segler not quite. Bruce almost. Morrison. Tumbling ball forward. Front spot was Patton. Desperate was Marshall. Little flick in the Hunter Clark direction. Not quite from Wilkie. Here's a chance for Bruce. Tries to set up the next from the Hawks' perspective. This one to Scully. Now to Gunston. Gunston from about 60. Fires it long. It's a bouncing ball. It's a skidding ball. It's offline.
St Kilda got a lot of space here. Quick ball movement from Hawthorn. They got gaps everywhere. They want to go through the middle.
Nathan Brown marks in front of Scully. As St Kilda hearts just sunk momentarily. Savage goes to Bruce. It was an aggressive kick up the middle of the ground. Marshall came in, it ricocheted off his shins. Chance here for Mirror. He won't get through that tackle. Seb Ross got him.
My ball, no prior. Thanks, Seb.
It has been a brutal contest this afternoon. Sore and wounded bodies on both sides. Spills out Scully's way. Clark put just enough pressure on without giving away a free kick. Bruce lurking dangerously. Takes the football. Sinclair takes him.
9.
St Kilda's tackling's been outstanding. 61 tackles to 48. Definitely out-hunted the Hawthorn team.
Segler, nice tap to Smith. A 2-on-1 here for the Saints. Wilkie needs to be clean and is to battle. Now Gresham takes the time he had available and hits Kent just backward of the wing.
Wilkie's been so valuable to the Saints this year. Terrific then again, been brilliant in this last half in critical moments. Bit of a new look, St Kilda. Half a dozen, as we said, haven't even got themselves to 20 games.
As Isaac Smith just hobbling to the bench once again, guys. He is absolutely spent, and it's interesting to watch the body language of these guys. Saints down a man, Hawks down 2, so they are absolutely spent running out this last 5.5 minutes.
Ross got to the footy first, gave it off to Akers, weaved his way through to Sinclair, back to Akers again. All about who can do well in the air here. Membry got to ground, little chance for Lonie. Mirror, he went to ground. Bruce has him, Mirror wrapped up. Needs a friend. No one about at all. Didn't make the effort, and suddenly the Saints. And that meant Lonie.
Get involved. Daniel, clear out, please.
Get involved.
Mark's here.
Getting involved in the game again.
You dived on it and you dragged it in. You got to knock it out.
He fell over.
Just keep the language down.
He fell over.
Mark's
15 seconds.
15 gone.
15 gone.
Apologies for the language. Lonie the first tackler. Josh Bruce wanted it. Now remember, Lonie for the afternoon. 2 goals, 5. He grasps the moment by the neck and gives it a shake. The Saints are in front. How nervous would he have been with ball in hand? How nervous would Saints fans have been watching Lonie with ball in hand? He dealt with the moment. He handled the occasion. He kicks his third. 3-5 for the afternoon. Saints by 3.
Well done to him as well. Yes, he's kicked a lot of points today, but he keeps putting himself in that position. History says you're going to kick goals at some stage. Yeah, he's had 8 scoring shots. There's a crucial time to kick one straight.
Hawthorn led by 26 points at the 11.5-minute mark of the third term. We're in a time on in the last. It's St Kilda by 3 points. Marshall to Steele under pressure from Warple, feeds it back to Gresham. He steps around Warple, puts it out into space for Billings to run onto. He's got 5 metres on Henderson, and he's got some support. Pushes it down the line and finds Membry. He wants to turn and go to the pocket. Guess who? Lonie. Not paid. Didn't quite hang on. Mount Mirror says, what about holding the ball my way?
Sabula. He didn't dive on it. The ball landed between his legs. Wait, and then.
And this crowd holds its breath. McAvoy the tap. Wins it at ground level. Sinclair through traffic. Snaps it high towards the line. It bounces! Through! It's going to review. The Saints are sending players to the bench to rotate. Hawthorn defenders still stand on the goal line, waiting for the result of this review.
Let me draw this box, mate. I'll wait until I come back.
Goal being reviewed upstairs, as every goal is.
Review complete, decision on scoreboard.
Did Hardwick touch it? He did. It hit his leg. This is going to be a minor score.
Chris Sicily's reaction, he thought it was a goal, but Hardwick was pretty adamant. Hardwick was adamant.
He was adamant.
He went to pick up the ball, bring it in.
He wasn't moving.
Big crowd waits.
Absolutely off Hardwick's leg.
Yep, thank you.
Now the entire field's going to need to push up into the defensive zone, and that's the look from St Kilda fans.
Thank you. Cancel the score, and then we'll give it all clear. Thank you.
Umpire will run the football back. The Saints will have time to set up their zone, and the drama continues to build on Sunday footy.
Saints are going man on man here. They've gone away from the zone. They don't want any easy kicks getting outside of the defensive 50.
I know there's a lot of frustration with the goal review, but right now Hawks fans love it. Big contest in the middle of the ground, through the legs. A little chance here for the Saints. Clever over the top. Wide ball. Well done, Patton. Here's Akins.
This is where the runner would go out to Hawthorn. So you don't have to do anything stupid. There's still 3.5 minutes to go. Just play your normal brand of football because they can score fast goals. Hardwick then he had a couple of blokes spare that was short. He could have chipped it out to him. He's just gone long down the middle.
3.5 minutes will seem like an eternity if you're a Saints fan. The Hawks will press and press hard. Segler. Press, pause, then gave it off. Sicily. Now Impey. Tried to go low. Looked like he was going to try and run onto his own ball. Billings went searching with a handball. Probably happy with the boundary line.
Jonathan! Rowan! Hold the lead up!
So we're deep into winning time now. Who's going to blink? Saints by 4. 5 lead changes for the afternoon. Saints with the momentum. Steele almost for long. Sicily desperate to keep it in. Did well. Hoiks it around on the left boot. Long ball into the belly of Billings. Happy to soak up some clock.
If you have a huge surge on that out of the back line, you need to get a hand in that.
Long ball in Hope. Not far from the boundary line. Sicily, Membry offline. 5 points to the margin. 2 minutes 30 on the clock. Hawks away.
Kick up the middle. Aggressive battle. Takes the grab. He puts it up to a big pack once again. Bruce went early. Was it a push? Was it a push?
50.
It was 50.
Stay out of the way. Thanks, Josh.
Now Bruce has got a sprint here to stay in front of Segler. He does.
He's great.
And suddenly the St Kilda defenders need to get back in numbers really quickly. Segler will give it off. Smith from behind. He'll launch it long. Puopolo tries to get there. Jumped early. Play on. Nunes Bruce smothered off his boot. Roughhead lays the tackle. Comes in on Wilkie. And holds it up once again.
Long tried to do the right thing down there and defend the mark. He just crept across it.
Ben, Rowan, take this way.
Every little inch given now. Done so without wanting to be an important one. It is going to be a huge run to the line.
Rowan!
A bounce here, a tap there. Everything needs to go right for the Hawks, but equally so the Saints. They lead it by 5. Segler. Little one was good. To Nunes. Now to Ross. Backs himself. Runs. To half forward it goes. Mirror stands his ground. Did well. Long. Clever. Towards the boundary line, but he had a man there. Hardwick desperate. Got taken home. Nash is off. Wants the advantage. Takes the advantage. In the air. Who's at home from a Hawthorn perspective? McAvoy. Almost. Webster courageous. Handball. Ricochets back to Wingard. Segler. 70 seconds to play. Hawks desperate for a goal. Desperation all around the ground.
Segler and Marshall at it again. Down to Nunes. Gains some territory to the wing. Nash sets himself. Couldn't complete the mark. Pressure came from Bruce. Here's Scrimshaw. Quick hands. Scully can get it and go. Launch it high inside 50. Roughhead checks his run. Comes again. Off hands, front and centre. Puopolo beaten to it by Nunes. Lays the tackle. Buries him into the ground. How will the umpire see this?
Yeah.
Ball it up.
No problem. Come on.
Great forward pressure there. St Kilda holding up nice and steady here.
Thanks, Jonathan. Rowan, lads, just clear the decks,
Hawthorn have
please.
to go in and get on the St Kilda spares at the back of the stoppage.
Segler and Marshall. Sinclair off the back foot. Out towards Ross. Tries to get a shepherd from Akers. Buys him a little bit of time. Lonie works it hard to the line. Umpire says throw it in. Jack Lonie. 3 goals, 5 this afternoon. He's been dynamic.
Rowan, Jonathan.
35 seconds remaining. Jack Lonie, you see there, saying, let's keep it in tight. Let's get numbers around this stoppage and clog it up. Marshall to the front for Sinclair. They've got some numbers. Steele, Ross. Important little push in the back there from Bruce. Just insured he couldn't get traction on the kick.
Ross has been huge today. He's had 39 touches.
And with 26 seconds to play, it's a 5-point game.
5 lead changes throughout the afternoon. They're still a long way from the line, the Saints. The Hawks, what have they got left? Desperate football to win. Sinclair, the little gift to Nunes. They bought themselves some distance. Bruce.
Push out the back. Push out
That'll do it, you'd think.
You.
Hits the ball long. Bruce sends them forward. The little gift from Billings. It'll be enough. The Saints will win another tight one. 3 from 3 at Marvel and 3-1 for the season.